How's it going, YouTube? Jamie the Kid 00 here, back with the Pet Project deck again. The literal first thing that happened when I posted up my pre-Shadow Specters Mermail deck profile was I was asked, what would you put in a post-Shadow Specters deck profile of Mermails? Well, this is my deck profile of it. This is not, I'm going to say this before we start, this is not the Aqua Spirit Teus build, because I wanted to actually put different cards in this build. My post-Shadow Specters Aqua Spirit Abyssteus build is identical to the last build. There is no room for Armored Kappa, so it's exactly the same. This build has room for Armored Kappa, makes Armored Kappa, and makes a few more fun plays, but it's a little less solid, a little less consistent, but it's a lot more fun. And fun is what matters in this game, right? Right? Sure, whatever. Let's get into the deck profile, if I don't leave half of it behind. This is a 40 card main deck. The deck list should be in the description below if I'm not too lazy to put it there. I will try and explain my choices as best I can, but some of my explanations will be backed up if you've watched some of my other Mermail deck profiles in the past. So we're going to start off the list with one Mermail Abyssleed. We are not starting with Mooling Glacier in this deck, because of the amount of decks that are running rampant at the moment, basically dragons, that don't really need that much of a hand. I feel that playing around with Mooling Glacier isn't as required, and there isn't as much graveyard manipulation in this deck as compared to the other build, so I felt that Mooling Glacier was going to be a bit more inconsistent in this variant, so I'm not playing Mooling Glacier. But however, the Abyssleed is in here as a muscle, and you can drop him occasionally, but you really don't want to unless you've got a hand full of Atlanteans. I then played two Mermail Abyssmegalo now instead of three. The third one had to go. I kept on opening three, and it was just clogging, and it needed fixing, and going to two was the way to go, and I haven't really looked back. I have it when I need it, I don't have it when I don't want it, so I don't see it as often as I would like, but Teus fills in for it. It's not a horrible loss. I'm glad I made the cut to two. I'd go back to three if I had room, and I might consider going to 41 cards with a third Megalo. It is a decision that I'm not 100% on, but it's not life or death. I don't have to play three. I then played three Abyssteus. Three Abyssteus is a given. You kind of have to play the three Teus. It's such a good card. Like, long story short, just play the three Teus. It assists your 7 plays, helps you get through the deck a lot more, helps you search out your Mermail Abyssgunde for your revival plays. It's just a really good card. The three Mermail Abysslinde, you want them for the spheres, you want them because they're just a generally good card. This card into Abysspike with the Atlanteans in hand is so good. It's so good to just set versus an Ophion when you're holding heavy infantry. Or it's so good to set for when your opponent makes the silly thing of setting their back row main phase 1, which some players do, and you can just have them swing into this, and you can go pike, ditch marksman, kill their back row, and you go plus off of that because they can't chain it. The two Abysgunde, you have no idea how much I want to bump up to 3, but I want to keep this deck at 40 cards, so 2 Gund is in here, 2 Gund is good, 2 Gund does the trick, but sometimes the third is, is welcomed. I play the 3 Abysspike because Abysspike is so good, it gets you free searches, basically. You ditch a guy, get its effect, and then search a replacement. It's just so good. I mean, even if you find yourself in situations where you're just pitching Abyssgunde, using Abyssgunde's effect and searching a new Abyssgunde, it's just so useful. The one Abyssturge, I like this card because it allows you to recur your heavy infantries and your Deep Sea Diva, which this build plays, so it's just really good in that regard. And I also like Abysspike in this deck a lot more because it allows you to search your Fishborg Archer, so that you can have your Lind die, search ditch a guy, search Abysspike, search this guy, ditch a guy, search out Fishborg Archer, if I can use my words, which are escaping me at the moment. And then you've got your Fishborg Archer for next turn if this is able to survive to normal summon, make a Black Rose play, or things like that. And then if the Black Rose play fails, hey, you can revive the Archer with Archer's effect. So it's pretty nice. Then, moving away from the Mermails and onto the Atlantean stuff, we play one copy of Atlantean Dragoons, because Atlantean Dragoons is your searcher. I wish he was at 3. I wish this was OCG, but it's not, so he's at 1. Then the full suite of Atlantean Marksman. I was kind of sad because I got in 3 ulti Marksmans and then I realised I couldn't use the third in my Aqua Spirit build. In this build where you play Diva, you need the 3. So the 3 Marksmen are in there and they're gorgeous in ulti. I love them in ulti. So, Marksman. Then the only Atlantean we play that isn't ulti is the 3 copies of Atlantean Heavy Infantry, which you really need to be playing for the Evil Soul matchup, and just other big stuff that this can just kill outright. It's just such a good card, and the ability to, even if you can go, the ability to use Sphere as a Regeki break, to go Sphere, get Pike, and ditch this as a cost to Pike's effect, because of course its effect is negated, but you can still pay the cost, so you can pitch this and kill something in the event of an emergency, so it's really quite cool like that. Then for the just generic water stuff, we play the 1 Deep Sea Diva, because Diva is really, really, really good. Quite frankly, it puts in so much work in this deck. It helps you make Armored Kappa, Armory Arm, and your 2 5s in the form of Armades, and Allied Justice Catastor is just so, so powerful. So, Diva is in there. We're going to play the 1 Fishborg Archer. This card, in tandem with Abyssgunde, lets you make a free Black Rose play whenever you want. If you have this card in the grave and no monsters on your field, and you have a Pike in grave, and your card in at least one of your cards in hand is an Abyssgunde, you're able to revive this by pitching the Gund. That Gund will then get back a Pike or a Turge, whichever is in the graveyard, and then you can immediately make Black Rose, nuke the board, and then you can go on and make your plays without even using your normal summon, so it's incredible like that. And then for the non-waters, we play 3 copies of Maxx and 2 copies of Swift Scarecrow. Sorry, I forgot there are one more set of waters in here. I've messed up the order of this. The 2 Scarecrow are in here because this deck plays 3 traps, and they're all Abyss Spheres. This is in here for when you are unable to kind of hold back your opponent, when you are going to get OTK'd. And I just felt that having that defense was really worthwhile, especially seeing as Return from the Different Dimension is a card. The 3 Maxx help you get to these. The 3 Maxx help you slow down Dragon Rulers and things like that, and they're just generally good in tandem with each other. I don't feel that playing Maxx without Swift Scarecrow is a good thing. Like I really think you should play Swift if you're going to play Maxx in this format. And then the final monsters in the deck are 3 copies of Tidal, Dragon Ruler of Waterfalls. Tidal is a really good card in this deck because it gives the deck a bit of recurrence. It gives the deck the ability to go toe-to-toe with dragons to an extent by giving them a free level 7 summon. So all you need to do every turn is be able to at least summon 1 level 7 Big Mermail. So this gives you a bit of a free recursion, allows you to make rank 7 plays or synchro plays a bit easier. So it's in there, and I can't even pick these up because there's such a big pile of monsters now, so I'm just going to move them over there. For the spells, this is a bit of a bumped up spell lineup from the 3 I've been playing before. I'm playing the 1 Dark Hole. I feel that this deck can play Dark Hole, whereas Dragon Ruler shouldn't. This deck just needs an added amount of removal, so enough said about that. The double MST, you need to have those outs to... You don't need to have those main decked outs to back row, so it's in there. Double Salvage, Diva is too good to only use once, so Salvage lets you use Diva more than once. And it's also really good in tandem with Diva again, because you can go Diva, search out a target, synchro for Armory Arm, and then add them both to hand, and then pitch the target for a Mermail effect, and then equip that Armory Arm to the Mermail, so it's pretty good. But that's the spells. It's really simple, and then the traps are 3 Abyss Sphere, which shouldn't really need any explanation. So that's all the Mermail stuff. That's all the main deck stuff, sorry. For the extra deck, this should be 15 cards. It really doesn't feel like it, but that's probably because there isn't a huge wodge of tokens sitting behind it for once. For our extra deck, we're playing the newly released Armored Kappa, which is an awesome card. I'm not going to be able to read it to you because I'm running out of time on the old memory. But Armored Kappa is incredibly good because of its ability to basically always trigger an Atlantean's effect. You're going to make this by going Diva, Infantry, and then when you detach that infantry is going to get in its effect. And then if this is attacked, it can discard 1 card from the hand to defend itself from the attack, or defend itself and all your monsters, and you take no battle damage, and they can't be destroyed by battle that turn. And whatever you ditch, if it's a Mermail or an Atlantean, this effect will trigger, so it's pretty cool. For the 3s, we play Leviathan Dragon and 1 Trite, because I'm not playing the Bahamut Shark play. For the 4s, I am playing the Bahamut Shark because it's a call out to Ophion. It can be over Ophion, so why not play it? And then the 1 Abyss Dweller because it's really good in the mirror match and it's good against dragons and it makes your entire board plus 500, so why not? And then for the 7s, I've had to cut down on the Xyzes so much to actually allow room for the Synchro engine in this deck. I'm literally playing 3 7s in the form of 1 Dracossack, 1 Big Eye, and 1 Mermail Abysgaios. So this is why the deck kind of frolics from only playing 2 Megalo, because you want to focus a little less on your 7 plays. So that is the Xyzes. And then for the Synchros, this is literally all for the Diva and the Fishborg Archer. Mostly for the Diva, sadly. We play the one Armory Arm. This card is an accessory. You don't make it as much as you may think, but it's in there, and it puts in a lot of work when you really do need it. It's really cool with Abysgaios as well, because it lets Gaios negate things like Scrap Dragon, which is usually one of the Dragon Rulers' only outs to this card, unless they have the Blaster in hand. So it lets it negate almost anything in the game now, except for Obelisk the Tormentor. For the 5s, we play the one Allied Justice Catastor, because it's a generic anything killer except for Aerophion. And the one Armades, because he's good. The Keeper of Boundaries is one of the best 5s in the game, in my opinion. It locks your opponent out of so many traps, so many battle destruction cards, Kalutes, Honests, Bujingi Cranes, the works. It's just a really, really powerful card. And Gores, things like that. Then I also play one Dewloren as the only 6, because this card allows you so many pluses with your spheres and things like that, so you have to play this card. The one Black Rose for the Fishborg Archer play. The one Gungnir for a bit more of a restrained play, and this card is actually able to stay on the field because of Fishborg Archer's effect, because this is actually a water. And then I only play 1/8 in the form of Crimson Blader. It's incredibly difficult to make 8s in this deck, and I felt the only time you would really want to extend that much is to put dragons under Crimson Blader, so the only 8 I'm playing is Crimson Blader. I am not playing Star Eater. In my testing, I only needed Star Eater once, and the problem was solved just by, instead of making the Star Eater, just taking an Armory Arm and putting it on a Tidal, or the Mermail that was already out. So you don't need the Star Eater as much as you may think. But yeah, guys, that has been the Mermail pet project deck. This has been my post-Shadow Specters deck profile. I'm sorry I've had to rush towards the end, but I've been running out of time. So if you have any questions, please put them in the comment section below, and the deck list, along with a side deck, should be in the description below. Hope you've enjoyed. Check out the Facebook link in there as well, because I'm going to be linking my Facebook group in there. But otherwise, I hope you guys have had your inspiration for your Mermail decks, and I'll see you guys next time with another Yu-Gi-Oh related deck profile, hopefully. Peace out. Bye.